I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2016. Following the rocket attack on Israel from Gaza Sunday and the strong response from Israel's Air Force, Israeli President Rubin visited the area and reiterated that Israel is not interested in any escalation with terror group Hamas. According to the Walla news site, Rivlin met with IDF troops near the Gaza border and said, just as the other side wants to live in peace, so do we, but in the same breath, we are ready for any animosity toward us. As we reported to you yesterday, a rocket fired from Gaza landed between two homes in the southern Israeli city of Sderot. No damage or injury was caused. Israel's Air Force retaliated, as did its artillery, striking dozens of Hamas terror infrastructure. Israel's Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman commented this morning on Israel's response during a tour of an IDF base in the Lower Galilee, where he said you can't expect the state of Israel to allow them, meaning Hamas, to arm themselves, rob money from Gaza residents, collect taxes, and dig tunnels instead of constructing buildings. The IDF identified a mortar that landed in an open area in the Golan Heights yesterday. The mortar landed near the border fence with Syria on the Israeli side of the heights and was thought to be a result of errant fire from the Syrian civil war and not a deliberate attack on Israel. The IDF responded by using an aerial vehicle to target a mortar launch pad belonging to the Syrian army on the Syrian side of the Golan. The army also released a statement saying that it holds Syria responsible for any action originating from within its borders and would not tolerate such actions which put Israeli civilians at risk. Early this morning, IDF forces conducted a joint raid of a massive weapons manufacturing network in the West Bank. 5 Israeli battalions, together with forces from Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, and Israeli police, confiscated dozens of weapons from several production factories in the cities of Hebron and Bethlehem. And 2 Palestinians who allegedly ran those factories were arrested. Turning now to some sports news, the 136th U.S. Open kicks off next week, and the Jewish Week reports that Jewish tennis player Noah Rubin is hoping to qualify. The qualifying week, which takes place prior to the Open, gives lower-ranked players a chance to make it into the first round. And Rubin, who hails from Long Island, is hoping he will be one of those who does just that. Rubin won the Junior Wimbledon Championships back in 2014. And bronze medal winning Israeli judoka Yarden Jerby is making good use of her participation in the Olympic Games in Rio, which just concluded. Jerby has put her name tag used at the Games up for auction on eBay. She says she will use the money from the auction to buy medical equipment for the Children's Oncology Department at Ichilov Hospital in Tel Aviv. Jerby has donated to that same ward in the past after winning the World Championship back in 2013. Jerby, by the way, is the second Israeli woman to win a medal at the Olympics. And the Olympics are in the spotlight on tonight's In the News, as Mark Golub is joined by Dr. Jeffrey Gurak, who is professor of American Jewish history at Yeshiva University and also the author of Judaism's Encounter with American Sports. Gurak explains why the 2016 Rio Games were a breakthrough for Israel and for world Jewry in international sports. That's tonight at 6:30. And in our other programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, August the 23rd, at 7 o'clock, Pakistani Muslim Qasim Hafiz talks about how he went from being an anti-Israel Islamist radical to a pro-Israel activist. At 8, Hussein Aboubakr talks about his journey and how it's given him a sense of kinship with Jews and Israel. At 9, Juliana Maio, who wrote the historical novel City of the Sun, talks about her Egyptian roots. And at 10, the First Lady of Israeli Theater, Lia Koenig, performs a one-woman concert in Yiddish at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, part of JBS's exclusive coverage of Kulturfest NYC. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.